Hello, welcome to the Big Impin channel. Today I will be showing you how to do timers in StarParse. Now these timers can be effective in any way. Either it's excuse me, either you want to have your dots on a timer and so you can look at your timer instead of a series of many other dots. Say you got a couple Madness Orcs and a couple of Hatred Sins, and you see like 4 different Creeping Terrors, you don't know which one's yours, or you have like 4 or 5 snipers and a 16-man, and you have a ton of dots for Virulence or Virulence, however you pronounce it, and you just want to find out which one's yours throughout all the uptime and downtime. So you can set up timers for this. And if you want to be bursty as well, you can set up timers for like I do. I have my Leeching Strike timer, which is for my extra damage bonus, and my it's glitching out, and my Bloodletting, which is on there as well to proc my Assassinate. The timer that I want to get here and use it as example is that because I don't have it. Is my Thrash's bonus. My 6 set piece activating Thrash makes my next Assassinate be a critical hit, guaranteed. This effect can only occur once every minute, so every time I use Thrash, it doesn't pop up because I don't have the timer, and this makes my next, it's evading, makes the next one be a crit automatically. So there we go. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go to our combat logs. This is located in your documents, and then Star Wars: The Old Republic, combat logs and screenshots. So go to combat logs and open up one of them. Doesn't really matter. Preferably one that has the one that you want. So if you're wanting one that has like a custom timer for a boss or something, then you would have to make sure that that boss, you were in combat with that boss beforehand. So you can get the ID number. Now this ID number can be found just by searching out the buff name. So if I hit Thrash, unfortunately the timer's not done yet. There it is. I'd look at the buff's name and it says Stalker's Crit Bonus. So we're going to go back to our combat logs that I just opened up, and as you can see there's a bunch of stuff. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Control F and find what? Well, it's called Stalker's Crit Bonus. I'll just stake Stalker's Crit. Should be good enough. There it is. And it is the ID number that is right after it. And you're just going to copy that. Control C works as well. And then we're going to open up our StarParse. Now our StarParse, go to Timers, and you can see that I already have Assassinate in my Leeching Strike. And I also have Lethal Shot from my Sniper. I tested out with some relics as well, my Power Relic and Primary Relic. We're going to go to Settings and create a new one. This one we'll just call Crit. That works. Now, I don't want it to happen. This is when you want it to proc. Do you want it to proc on a specific boss? Do you want it to proc whenever you want? I say whenever I want, so I'll just leave that blank. Trigger on. Now this is a buff that is gained. I could use my Thrash and have a timer after I use my Thrash. I could do that as well by going here, typing in Thrash. There's my ID for my Thrash, and every time I use Thrash I want to have a minute cooldown. Go back here. I could just call it Thrash Crit and be it on ability activated, and have it last once a minute, no repeat, and ignored repeated triggers. That way it will finish consuming, and that way it doesn't just refresh back to a minute every time I use Thrash. So, but I'm going to do it the effect gain because I want it to be a little bit more precise with the buff itself, just in case it activates early and it doesn't do it properly. I'm doing it on the buff itself. So if I do it early and then, or I don't know, just as soon as the buff goes, I just find that way works better. For source and target, I look as Stalker's Crit Bonus. Now, I look all the way at the beginning. Damn it. Stalker's Crit. At the beginning, over here it says Calyxin and Calyxin, so it's me and me, not me and Operation Training Dummy with a series of ID numbers. So, ability, it is not an ability, it is an effect. And that is the effect ID that I copied before. And again, the source is me and the target is me. Now, if the target was the training dummy, I'd go to custom and then put down the name or ID. I would not suggest putting down the name. It could glitch out, could mess up. Just stick to IDs. It works a lot better and it is more efficient. Repeated, I don't want it repeated a limited amount of times. I just want it whenever. So, unlimited. The duration, it is a 60 second. It is 1 minute, so 60 seconds is how long I want the timer. If it's a minute and 20 seconds, don't put 120. I've seen people do that before. That is not correct. If it's 1 minute and 20 seconds, just add 20 to 60 and you get 80. So then put down 80. So this thing is in minutes. So keep that in mind. I don't want it to cancel at all on its own. I want it just to finish going. Ignore repeated triggers. It's not gonna. The buff won't come up until that timer's done. So I'm not going to need ignored repeated triggers. Display. Now this is a big thing that people don't understand. Make sure that display is checked if you want it to show up here. And then choose the color that you want. It's a bluish color, so I'll keep it blue. If you don't want to display it, because a boss has many other timers, like walkers, we'll say, on Temple of Sacrifice, there are built-in timers for Gravity Bomb and the shield. So timing that, there's only so many timers you can have on there, and that's 2 already, so I'll have 3, so it's not going to fit 5 different timers. So if I wanted it to let me know when it was off cooldown, I'd put it on sound instead, and then I could choose whatever sound I want.
It's a trap!
So it would play that sound the moment that the crit is done, for instance, or whatever. I don't like sound, so I'll just put it as display, and then make sure save as new. Oh. It is me and me. Forgot to change that. There. So crit is saved. And double check it, make sure it's all correct before you go ahead. And then go over to timers and make sure that it is checked. Like that. And it does glitch out sometimes. It doesn't always work. Make sure that you turn parsing off and turn parse back on. There we go. And that kind of refreshes everything. It lines up the timers and makes sure that the timers are all in there. Because again, sometimes it doesn't always work. And now let's test it out. So, Leeching Strike works. Bloodletting works. Thrash. Oh, it's evading. Thrash. Crit. There it is. And even though it's consumed and it's gone, it's still there. I know if I use my Leeching Strike a little too early, it doesn't pop up because that is the timer. Once the timer's done, and then I can use Leeching Strike and boom, there it is. So this can help out a lot, like I said, with either timing your rotation. It's good to know how long a minute's gone by, just to be for exact numbers if you are going for the exact numbers, or anything in general. Every little bit helps. A lot of people, there's timers that you need for everything, and you can do just about anything with those timers. So crit's almost done. I'll use Thrash, and boom, I have my bonus. Timers are a bit delayed. Keep in mind that these, and StarParse is delayed itself, so it is about 2 seconds or so delayed. So keep that in mind, but other than that, it is fairly efficient. Anyways, I hope this really helped out a lot of you. If you do have any questions, I am not an expert, but I will do what I can to help out. So thanks for watching, and have a good one.